The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients.
It's Wednesday, the 29th day of November, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Roger Denbrook, and Maya Palacio will be with you in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Happy Wednesday, Roger.
Happy Wednesday, Mr. Hartman. How are you?
I'm wonderful, sir. I am wonderful. You know, Raj, we've got some viewers the world over these days, and some, they tune back in after a few months off and so on. And one of our younger viewers, 8 years old, beyond Bermuda, says, "Hey, I've never seen him before. What's his name?" And she remembered your name and said your name, and I was like, look at Raj making fans the world over, man.
Oh, this is great.
If only she could have seen him in Serafina.
Oh, goodness.
She'd be able to say, "Oh, so he's a real talent. He's not just a mouthpiece like Jamal." I'm just saying. All I could do is talk, but
what the heck? You're an entrepreneur. You do this. You're you're an activist. Like going to the Privy Council to fight for all of us young Black. Stop.
I mean, activists lose a lot, So,
but guess what? They have the fortitude to. And do you remember I was there at the Privy Council? See, you didn't remember this.
You were, Raj?
Yes, I came down to the court. I was in London in university, and I came down to the court, and I saw you and Eugene.
Yeah. I know that it's coming back to me. And Davida Morris came, right? Yeah. And it's all coming back to me, actually. Yeah.
It's funny how those things sort of get lost in the
Raj, it's my what years from now you'll forget that I was at Serafina shouting your name too, right?
If you were shouting my name, I would have 100% heard.
You're not letting me have that one. You're not letting me have that one.
No, wait.
All right, it's not letting me have that one. All right, folks, greetings, everyone. And thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome William Campbell on from Bermuda is Love. We're discussing their latest campaign, the One Planet, One Right campaign. Also, the Daily Play today, more holiday trivia. This one I think might be easy. I think I know the answer to this. And folks, I really do try not to look at the answer so that I can, in my head, guess it as well. So I think it's an easy one, Raj. I think you've got this.
All right.
If you haven't already, make sure you fill out our survey. This is the second last day. It's the 29th. Yeah, tomorrow's the last day to be eligible to win a prize. Must include your email address. If you want to remain anonymous, you just aren't eligible for the prize, and you can fill it out. Only do it once. And make sure you subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. And good morning to you, Suzanne Ingham. She says, "Happy Wednesday, gentlemen and Maya." When she checks in, and then she says, "That's right, Raj. Tell him to stop. He does many things. Just the Daily Hour says it all." We appreciate you, Suzanne Ingham. All right. You know what time it is, folks. You ready, Raj?
It's joke. Yo, we got another joke?
Please don't sound so excited.
I am incredibly excited.
Okay.
I can barely contain myself. Let's do this.
Here's the thing. I got Maya to laugh yesterday. So I appreciate that she's staying backstage these days, because I feel like if she's backstage, she might tell me she laughed. If she's on camera, it's just not as good. All right. So this one's gonna be funny since she's backstage. Here we go. Oh
Lord.
All right. Oh boy, this one's funny. You're laughing already, Raj. I see you. Audience, here's your joke of the day. Wednesday, November 29th. Raj, what do you call a reindeer wearing earmuffs?
A reindeer wearing earmuffs. A muffy rain, a muff deer, a deer, a I don't know.
Ready?
Go for it.
What do you call a reindeer wearing earmuffs? Anything you like. He can't hear you.
That's pretty great.
Stop.
That's
Stop.
pretty great.
Stop.
That's really great.
Stop. Thank you.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I hope everyone's up in a good mood today. And now we got to get serious. But yeah, I crack myself up, don't I?
That was great. It's like, oh yeah, the dad joke thing. That's what that was.
Okay. See on to Karen Fun.
That's pretty great.
You got some laughs. We're getting there. All right, let's get serious. So, for those of you who only retrieve your news from Media Maya, just want to bring it to your attention that yesterday, according to Bermuda, there was the premier and deputy premier are set to attend the COP28. So that is basically the UN climate change conference. And it's taking place in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates. And there were a lot of questions about this. And, people on Twitter had some very valid yet sarcastic points, but valid, basically saying, how is it in 2023 we're still sending on a climate conference now 2 people to travel? Think about it. Take an airplane, because they're not going by sailboat, to a climate conference. Then it's the who. Who and why are these 2 individuals going? The premier and deputy premier, right? First question, before we get into it, Raj, I just want to ask the audience, yes or no? Do you think in 2023 that people should still be flying around the world to attend conferences with the technology to do online conferences available? Yes or no? Do you think people should still be, especially on the taxpayers' dime, do you think people should still be flying around the world to attend conferences? Yes or no? Let's get a quick yes or no. Raj, yes or no, do you agree?
There are times when face-to-face is 100% necessary, and I understand that. But going to a conference, there are tons of online conferences. So no, it's not necessary.
Raj, I think this is probably the first time I think I would disagree.
Okay.
Keep in mind what I did for Bermuda was I was responsible for driving conferences to Bermuda. And I understand the personal side of having face-to-face conferences. I actually do believe that we should have people representing Bermuda at these conferences in person. My issue is the people who are actually doing the representation, like the representatives. That's my issue. Before we get into it, Raj, Ebony Souza says no. She agrees with you, Raj. Sam Cat Play says no.
Well, no, I didn't completely say no. I said face-to-face, yes. But if it's not totally necessary, get your butt online.
Okay. If it's not totally necessary. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thanks for that correction. Yes, that's Trevor and Trotty. NTS, yes. Karen Simmons, yes. Misha Fabla, yes. The interactions in person at conferences are more meaningful than online. Suzanne Ingham says no. There are times it's vital, but not always. Misha Faber says the online conferences have more like broadcast than the networking opportunities available in at-person conferences. Karen Simmons, my question is, who is going and how effective will they be at the conference? That's where we're going this morning. And the question of this morning is, what's the question? Oh, what concerns you most about government representatives attending conferences overseas? That's the question of the morning. What concerns you most? And I think, Raj, I'll let you take it here to go and delve deeper. But there are many Bermudians, some who are seeking funds to attend conferences like these, people who study this stuff, people who work in this space. Folks, what concerns you most about this? The Premier and Deputy Premier attending this conference. Again, Lydia Simmons, yes, but the right people. Raj, what's the most concerning thing about this? And let's be clear, this is not just these two ministers attending this. There are many other ministers that attend conferences that they have no business going to. Keep in mind, these people usually have no understanding of what is actually taking place.
And with that said, Jamal, I think it's really important to clarify what the function of a minister is.
Right? Please do.
Minister is there to set policy, right? That does not mean that they are an expert in that policy area. The experts are the technical officers of the government of Bermuda that do not change no matter who the government is. Those technical officers with their expertise are duty bound by contract and by law to deliver policy as it is handed down to them. So a government minister can come up with a policy, and then all the technical officers, whether the policy is sensible or not, then have to execute it. So to that first point, ministers are not experts, and then that begs the question, why are they then attending these conferences? Now, Misha has made the excellent point that networking is very important. It is very important that Bermuda, as an international jurisdiction, as an internationally relevant jurisdiction, our leaders do need to connect with our other jurisdictions. Now, are they the people who should be at these conferences? No, I don't think so. But the technical officers, the experts who can go and advance our position on different policy positions and different priorities for this country should be the ones going. And we do need to really consider and ask the question and reflect on the fact that at the moment, public opinion of this government is very low. The times when slight polls have been done, the PLP has not come out on top, right? So then we have our government leaders leaving a very contentious situation and going overseas and rubbing shoulders with people, knowing full well that the country's not happy with them right now. So then you really have to ask yourself from a human perspective, how does it feel sort of, I'm going to put it this way, and it may not sound great, right? Getting a quote unquote attention fix. That's how I'm going to put it, right? You're not feeling good in one spot, so you're going to go away on the taxpayer's dime with a wonderful title and all of your privilege where you're going to be treated a certain way in another space, right? And when they don't know the context of what's really going on in this country right now. Some people may call that an oversimplification. Some people may call it petty. But at the end of the day, our government ministers are human. They know they are not in a good position with this country right now. So I'm not surprised that they would rather hop on a plane and go get their pats on the backs from somewhere else.
Yeah. You said everything right down to a T, and I'm glad you explained the role of a government minister, because I actually read the article. I don't know if I can't read anymore, misread or misunderstood or oversaw read something, but I was expecting to see, along with their technical officer or even permanent secretary, right?
So it's just them.
I read it. I again, folks, unless I'm overreading something, following Abu Dhabi Finance Week, the Premier will attend COP28, which takes place November 30th to December 12th. He'll be joined by Deputy Premier and Minister of Home Affairs, the Honorable Walter Oban, JPMP. Nowhere in here did I see anyone from a permanent site? And again, just because it's not shared here doesn't mean it's not happening. Let me be very clear. Just because it's not in this article, but to Roger's point, knowing that they're in such a space with the general public, right? I think it's a level of arrogance, right? There's a level of arrogance to actually take a trip like this, knowing how the public feels. Now, it goes on to say also leaders from Caribbean nations, including prime ministers from Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, the British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla will also be in attendance. And I'm going to touch on that because Michael Daniels says are leaders from other jurisdictions attending. If leaders from other jurisdictions, let's use that old example our family used to give us, we're jumping off a damn cliff. Does that mean we should do it too? I don't care what other leaders are doing in that respect. We're talking about Bermuda in this respect.
And
right?
then we have to remember. I'm sorry, Sergeant. I'll continue.
Go ahead, Raj.
No, and I think it's a really good point, a really good place to bring up the point that there are 3 Bermudians who are experts in this field who are trying to raise money to go to this conference. Bermudians who have technical expertise, Bermudians that are committed to this island and meaningfully addressing climate change with their expertise are trying to go to this conference. Thank you, Suzanne. Sorry. They're trying to go to this conference, yet they can't raise the government. Sorry, the premier and the deputy are going, and the deputy premier is aware of the fact that these individuals are trying to go. As of now, if I was, and I'm going to say, if I were in the premier's position or the deputy premier's position, I would do everything in my power to make sure that they could go. And I would really question my motives for going at that point. I think that's a very basic thing. So what really it feels like, and again, people may disagree, and I'm sorry if I'm being like oversimplifying things, but this just seems like an ego trip. That's all it seems like. That's all it seems like. You have, one of them is Malachi Simons. We already know Malachi, right? Malachi could not be more committed to his craft. He could not be better trained. Him going to that conference is, and his colleagues, it's not a political thing. It's not an attention-seeking thing. It's an I want to make connections and improve my country thing. I want to help save the world thing. It's 2 very, very different things.
And again, just hear Roger out. If you're just tuning in, what he's literally saying is, okay, we've got the premier and deputy premier attending this conference on behalf of Bermuda, but we also have 3 young Bermudians. This is their focus. This is their expertise. We need to be different if we're trying to rise from the ashes, which is what we are right now as a country. Why not push them ahead? That is the empowerment we need. They don't need charity. They need this kind of empowerment. They need the general public and the government behind them. They're the experts. So why are we okay with the premier and deputy premier? Because other islands or jurisdictions are doing it. And not being different. Dare to be different. Remember, Bermuda used to be a leader. Bermuda was dominant in tourism and in IB sector because we were first. We were out there. We dared to be different. Let's go to the audience. Sam Cat Play says, I don't agree with who. Information is probably not shared like it should be, and they would be clueless as they are not experts. Once again, government doing a pack with money. A question of the morning, what concerns you most about government representatives attending overseas conferences? Karen Simmons says the government should be there we go. She says it. The government should be empowering these 3 young people to attend the conference, to come back and have real action. I think Maya's going to share something with us during her news break regarding this as well. But I really, I know you guys are hearing Roger and I. We appreciate you, seriously. Suzanne Ingham says, you gentlemen are on fire today, more than normal. But I want you to really remove Roger and myself for a minute and just put this pen to paper and write down everything that's being said. And begin to ask yourself, Ask yourself, how does this make sense? Just because it's normal, just because everybody does it, ask yourself, how does it make sense? How can we be better? It'd be different if we were just having this conversation, just complaining and moaning. Oh, why they're taking another trip on the taxpayers' dollars? Well, that's a valid complaint. But the other side to this is we have 3 young Bermudians who do this and are interested in attending. Why can't we be different and just, you say, you know what? This is a great point. If there were no ego or arrogance involved, an intelligent and a caring leadership would have said, you know what? Let's at least take these young people along with us. Even if you didn't eliminate yourself from going.
And that you said it right there. Even if it means you not going, that's you hit the nail on the head right there. And I'm also going to use an example of the education minister a few weeks ago, was it last month? Few weeks. It was relatively recent. He attended this education conference in Tokyo. Now, the fact that he was attending that conference was kept very quiet. There was nothing in the media. It was kept quiet. So that lets me know immediately they didn't want the public to know. And I will say I was in the meeting and I asked about it. It's like, oh, I heard you're going to this conference, and the reaction was surprise. And I was like, yeah, word gets around. So then I asked a few people. I was like, listen, because I had my suspicions as to why they didn't want people to know, right? The first one being that education reform is a mess, no matter what the government says, no matter what kind of messaging they want to put out, no matter how they want to spin it. And I will be clarifying in other venues, I will be clarifying those points and exactly what I mean by that. And I will say on record right here, right now, education reform is an absolute mess. So why are you going to a conference in Tokyo to celebrate the successes of education reform? No, that was an ego trip. And then you had and if we have money, millions of dollars to give to consultants who are not producing key deliverables, why don't we have money for young people who are committed to this country? Is that the friends? Is that the extent of friends and family now? We want to give money to people who are willing to be complicit in our incompetence?
Seems so, Raj.
Mm.
Seems so. Let's read this final comment before we take a break and then bring Maya in. We've got Renee Simmons said, I'm just coming in late. Why is government not supporting their trip for this event, especially if they are experts? I'm sick of government using taxpayers' funds to take photos for status purposes. And Suzanne Ingham says, they should have sent Malachi, but they prefer to harass him instead of working together. He will make the biggest difference. It does not make sense that because they didn't send the high ruler. Education reform is not a mess. It's a disaster. And Yuko Fo says, says, no matter how long we ignore it, that doesn't make it not true. Not sure what they're talking about. And then Rashida Godwin says, how can you expect the government to empower the people when its job is to maintain the colony and not empower the people? The throne speech was socialism and charity. I think that's a great way to end it. And I don't disagree with Rashida Godwin. Let's take a quick break. Then we'll come back with Maya and the Daily Hour News break. Then we have William Campbell coming on for Bermuda is Love. And I think that conversation really continues on from what we're talking about.
In over 30 years, Mailboxes has brought in millions of packages. That's a lot of packages. We started way back in 1990.
Ship a boombox. Well, okay, sure, we can do that. Check you later.
And ever since,
Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour News Break, see what she's got for us. Then we've got William Campbell coming up. I think we'll extend that conversation about what we were discussing earlier, because I think he has some to add from that as well.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, greetings to you, madam. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I think you guys have quite the discussion going on today, definitely.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Did you want to add anything? Because I have a
Well,
lot.
I'm just going to add through some oversight with the news of the discussion that we're talking about, so you guys have a little bit more information to dig into, and the audience has something to also read and also view themselves. So good morning. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now, starting off this news this morning, as I already mentioned earlier about what we're talking about, which has to do with the delegate conference and the COP28. So firstly, let's just go straight into what the Premier David Bright actually said in the press conference. So if you could read right here that beginning statement, which says, today Premier Bright said that, quote, COP28 is one of the biggest global forums which brings together key policymakers from close to 200 countries to make crucial decisions that affect our future. So it's imperative that Bermuda is represented at this event. The UAE and Bermuda have already fostered strong bilateral relations. Our visit will seek to involve our existing relationship and advance new partnerships by promoting Bermuda as an excellent and competitive destination for foreign direct investment opportunities. So that's just a small clip of the very long press statement that had to do with the Deputy Premier and Premier going off to COP28. Now, as you would have seen on this show, I have mentioned before about Noelle Young. Now, Noelle Young is actually Bermuda's first women delegate to actually attend Younger. And we had a discussion, actually a very long interview. You can find it on media-maya.com. It's the first story that's actually up there about her experience in Younger and also her trying to get it to this COP28, because Bermuda hasn't had any representation, and especially not from the young generation, and just her strive on trying to get there. So let's listen into this interview that I actually had with her. It's about 2 minutes long, but it really explains like her position, what she's trying to do, and all about COP28 and why it's important. What is COP28?
So COP28 is the Conference of Peoples. It's essentially where the Sustainable Development Goals were created. And small island states like Bermuda generally don't have much representation there. And that goes for all islands, realistically, not just Bermuda.
Because if that's where everything like makes all the changes, but 10 people get selected from Younger to go there, are there any other revenues for you to be able to get there other than Younger? Just curious.
Yeah, so you can actually pay for it yourself. In some other countries, they actually allot youth delegates. Unfortunately, for Bermuda, we don't have that opportunity. We actually have to apply for a youth delegate, I assume because maybe Bermuda's never had one. But I believe even our own ministers have to apply to go. So as far as small island states go, again, we aren't given the opportunity to participate in comparison to the larger countries where there are allotted more people to attend.
I'm assuming that you probably brought this to the minister's attention, though, that this is something that
the minister knows, and he actually has encouraged me to attend. So if I can get there, I will, but I'm not making any promises.
Well, as an update on this situation, Noelle Young and other Bermudians are actually seeking funding to represent Bermuda at the Younger World Conference in Dubai, held during the COP28. Like she mentioned, the delegation aims to bring Bermuda's unique perspective and challenges to the global stage, promoting solutions and fostering international cooperation. Now, Go ahead. You have a question there, Jamal?
No, I just appreciate that you threw in about her communicating with the minister these messages, because I think the key thing is for the experts to attend these things and then communicate. And I think that's what Raj was saying earlier about having like the technical officers go. Like they're the ones that communicate what makes sense and what doesn't. So no, I appreciate how you handled that just now.
Oh, thank you. So obviously now we know that the Premier and the Deputy are going. From the press statement, there wasn't anything specific saying that they're going to help Noelle Young and the other delegates. As we know their names, I could put them up again, but we know it's going to be Noelle Young, Zane Sinclair, and Malachi Simons. So these are the young Bermudians that are looking to try to get out there. They are looking to raise $25,000 by December the 1st. If you wish to assist and help them, you can call and email that number that you see on the screen there. And at present, when they sent out their first press release, which was possibly a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, they had $7,500 that they had so far. Again, nothing was mentioned about whether or not that fund came from government. They did mention someone specifically, and it wasn't a government party or body, but they do have a mention, and you could read it right on media-maya.com. It's actually right here, the first story up on my website that talks about where they've gotten the funds from so far and what they're looking to do.
Well, Maya, I've been receiving some messages from our guest today that he also is in Dubai, and there's 3 additional Bermudians as well as them who are trying to attend all together. So our guest today said that they arrived in Dubai early this morning. So I did not know that. Trust me, folks, Rajay, Maya, and I decided on this morning's discussion topic right before the show. So this is just by chance that this is all coming together right now where we're having this conversation.
Amazing. So we'll get you more updates on it when our guest comes in. In other news, as I mentioned before, but it's good to also mention again that, the registration for Bermuda public school systems, the Bright Start program, preschool, middle school, and senior school is open to register. So anyone who already has a child in these institutions should have already received your email. If not, just go on moed.bm so you can register, especially first-time children going into the program. So make sure you do that as parents and guardians for the young ones, especially with all the changes that are also going on. They did mention that it's going to be a very slow registration process for parish primary schools and regular primary schools because of this whole transition that we're moving into. Now, in other news, there was also a statistics that was put out by the Minister of Education just the other day, and I'm going to throw it up on the screen. You guys can tell me what you think about these stats, but it has to do with education, the birth rate in Bermuda going up and education enrollment from primary schools and private schools. So here's the statistics that was put up by the minister the other day. A little bit to note from here that I got, because the birth rate comes in at 5 years, I believe it says, lesser than what the primary and private schools are. So if you look at it as all being in the 2013 year, then birth rate was 615, primary school enrollment for public schools was 469 and private schools was 254. And another key point here is, even though, yes, our Bermuda birth rate has really declined there from the year that they have, you could tell that in private schools, it's trickled and not really changed at all as to the rate of their enrollment. Public schools, we got maybe 100 people drop. I know it's a little bit hard to see, so I apologize for that. But public schools, you got a little bit of a drop there. But private schools have been pretty steady.
Well, Maya, I'm going to let Rajay have the floor on this because I have a lot to say, but I know this is Raj. I just want to say one thing. Maya said it for me, but how can this guy use this? How could the minister and the government use this and act like it's favorable to them when you really see the drop off for private schools isn't that great? But go ahead, Raj, please.
40% of enrollment, they go into private school. And this was omitted when these figures first came out, and that omission was not a mistake. Like I have said before, I am tired of the spin. I am tired of the manipulation. I'm tired of it, right? People are losing faith in our public school system. That is a fact. It is as simple as that. We have an entire private sector of education that we have to pay attention to those numbers too. If you're not paying attention to those numbers too, if you are not directly reporting on those numbers, you are being misleading. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am tired of it. And I would even say it on record here. I am committed to my children receiving a public school education. That's what I want for my children. But I'm telling you right now, if I had the money, my babies would be going to private school. I'm tired of the games.
Yeah, I got you, Raj.
All right. Well, moving on to some more news that we're going to keep mentioning here on the show, but 16-year-old Ajani Lima Bascom is still missing. Last seen again in the Slippery Hill area of St. George's. I believe everyone's heard me say this every single day on the show since Ajani has been missing. So if there's any update from the community, my email is right there as well. If the family wants to reach out or any friends want to reach out, because there has been talks about what can we do more other than posting on social media. So if there is any suggestions, please feel free to email me there. Again, Ajani Lima Bascom still missing. Last seen November the 9th in the Slippery Hill, St. George's area. Last wearing dark jacket, dark pants, dark color Crocs, and white socks as well. He's light complexion, about 5 feet 8 inches in height and normally wears his hair undone or in plaits. So please, if anyone knows the whereabouts of a Johnny Lima Bascom, feel free to email me if you have any suggestions. I will bring them up to the police or whatever I can do on my end personally as a journalist and a community member of, Bermuda.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's bring him home. Hopefully he's found soon.
Yes. And some happier news coming up. We know that the 46th anniversary of the Market-Based Christmas Parade will dazzle us with the streets of Hamilton on Sunday, December the 3rd. Sunday, December the 3rd, thousands of Bermuda spectators are expected, they say, to line the streets of the city of Hamilton to watch the Santa's Owl, Sparkly, Fire, Dog, and everything about it that will happen. The parade should start about 5 p.m. on Sunday, December 3rd, starting from Church Street near Parlerville Car Park before traveling east on Church Street, then turning south to Court Street, then west onto Front Street and ending at the Birdcage. We are also expecting some brilliant firework displays as well to be on blast as we go closer to the event and on the end of the night of the event. So, remember the day, put it in your calendars, December 3rd. It should be this Sunday. Should be a good time.
Mm-hmm. Go watch Santa Claus.
And lastly, just a reminder about Shake Your Future applications are actually due December the 1st. December the 1st for Shake Your Future applications for the cohort number 2. They're not just bringing 7, but they're bringing 10 Bermudians, which is a big jump in difference from the last one since they got over 130 applications for their first one. So just a reminder on that. And in our sports-related news, I got to mention it one more time because our Bermuda women's national team are doing brilliantly at the CONCACAF games and really excited for their next round of games coming up. That should be starting on December the 1st as well. And another one following close after for their team. So good luck to them.
All right. How's the weather looking today?
The weather is looking like sunny periods, a slight chance of a brief light shower though. So look out for that, especially if you're on a bike. And the temperature dropped from the 70s to the 60s. So we're at 68 degrees today.
This morning when I headed outside, I'm just trying to check to see if it's going up. I went for a 2-miler. It was 56 degrees this morning. And if you all know, like 56 degrees in South Florida is freezing. You always say Bermuda, like 65, 6 is because it's damp. Well, what do you think this is? This is more tropical than Bermuda, right? So I was freezing out there, but it felt good to actually, have a full tracksuit on and sweat it out. But yeah, your boy was struggling in that cold. I'm not mad lack of humidity, but hey, all I'm saying all that to say, prepare for the difference in weather because it's gonna make our bodies like sick if we're not taking care of ourselves. All right.
Agreed.
All righty. Raj, you've got days of the year for us?
I do have days of the year today. Now, my options today were limited, so this is slightly obscure, but we're going to make it work. Today is International Jaguar Day.
Like the animal?
Yes. So encompassing 18 countries ranging from Mexico all the way to Argentina, jaguars are the only big cat that resides in Latin America, and they're also the largest carnivores in the area. This is a great time to learn more about and raise awareness for the need of the protection of these animals and their habitat through International Jaguar Day. So do you guys have any favorite big cats?
I like the lion.
All right, we have a lion lover.
It's not a big cat. It's a meerkat. I love meerkats.
Okay, wait. Is it meerkats even felines? Like, are they actually in the cat family? Because
I don't know. I mean, it has cat in it, so I would assume that it is.
Okay, fair enough then.
Audience, what's your favorite kind of big cat? Let us know. I'm going with the lion. You're a jaguar, Raj?
No, I think I'm a panther.
Makes sense. A Florida panther or a black panther?
I'm a black panther, bro.
Just checking. All right, we got a jaguar.
What's a Florida panther? I'm never going to Florida. What are you talking about?
That I mean the car, not the animal. We got pumas look crazy, man. Those videos. We got Lion King, King of the Jungle. All right, we'll see you later. We've got William Campbell coming up. We're going to continue the conversation we've been having. We're talking about the environment, their campaign that Bermuda is Love is doing. So do not go anywhere. Stick with us. Maya, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
All right, stick with us, audience.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talk and DeWalt. The list goes on.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Roger Denbrook, I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please, if you haven't already, tomorrow is your last day. Today, that means it's your second last day to fill out our annual survey. The feedback that you give us is really, really helpful as we try to grow this show and everything that we do. To really respond to your needs and also make sure that our sponsors and partners are getting what they need to out of what we are producing. So make sure you check that out. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring it in our guest for the day. Let's give a warm TDH welcome as representing Bermuda is Love. Welcome, William Campbell, to the show. Oops, not that one. I'm sorry. See, he was laughing at my joke from earlier. That's what it is, right? Morning, brother.
Quite a situation, mate. How are you guys? All's well?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Having me on this morning. Certainly having me on.
Hold on. You're actually in Dubai right now.
I am indeed. Following on with our earlier conversation, I'm actually very lucky to be among the number of the Bermudian delegates who are in attendance at the Younger World Festival. We're going to be attending a couple of the COP events as well. There are, in fact, 6 of us, not 3 of us. Noel Young and I are hosts of the Bermuda Youth Climate Summit and chair of the Climate Justice track. There's Zane Sinclair of Sinclair's Seed Sowing, who's going to be launching sustainable enterprises as well. There's Malachi Simons, of course, Just a Farmer. And we're also lucky enough to have 2 of our YCS Youth Climate Summit alumni from that Climate Justice track. Isaiah Thomas and Ollie Cherry along with us as well. Or sorry, Isaiah Frazier is his last name.
Honestly, thank you for that. And again, Rajay and I back and forth throughout the night into this morning with Maya. And, usually we'll have a topic prior. And we just said, let's go with this one. Had no idea exactly you were that tied into what we were going to be discussing this morning. But hey, things happen as they should be happening. And I'm glad that we are having this conversation today. So I very much appreciate you making the time for us while being over there. But before we jump into it, just tell the audience a bit more about yourself, your background, and your connection to Bermuda is Love and the work that they're doing.
Yes, of course, Jamel. Happy to, mate. So Bermuda's Love, I've been volunteering with them since almost the inception in 2020. Aaron Critchlow is a friend of mine as well. He was studying politics at University of Kent, where I was studying war and conflict. And as young Bermudians, we end up meeting each other there. And again, in seeing his heart first focus in simply seeing the problem of trash in our hedgerows and going out to say, I'm going to go out and go do something about it. And I'm asking everyone to come along with me. That was certainly that type of local leadership and value change that we really need to be encouraging there. So I took great courage from Aaron's good example and have now been working with him and with Bermuda's Love for a good long time and currently help out with events coordination, volunteering and production of some of the infographics and the literature that we put out too.
And before we go on, I just want to ask, going back to you guys being over there in Dubai right now, is obviously it costs money to attend these things. How has the fundraising gone? Like, do you all have what you need, or is there still a plea for more assistance so that you can actually be in attendance and get what you can out of it for the benefit of the community?
Well, Jamel, we've actually been very lucky in that all 6 of us have now managed to get over here. We were down to the wire with the last bits of funds that needed to be put aside to actually secure the ticket. We are, however, still seeking retroactive funding for covering the costs of attending. The 6 of us who are attending, of course, are local. We can call ourselves experts in this field, although 2 of us are still young. And we are still seeking as well, primarily as Noelle has done, a tremendous amount of work in organizing this and in extending her capacity and invitation to the other 5 of us. We are hoping as well to provide this as a launch pad for other Bermudians to go forward to these events and to participate, and crucially as well to bring back the knowledge and networks that they would accrue to come back and improve their communities too. So we're seeking retroactive funding, but also as well for providing that launching ground for the rest of us in the community to go out.
Sorry, and, one more question. I just want to ask from the audience one more. Is Charles H. Jefferson II has said, glad to hear that there is youth there representing Bermuda. Was your trip government supported at all?
Well, we've had, as Noelle stated in the interview with Maya as well, we have had contact with the minister and with the premier as well. We are independently funded and we are doing this of our own volition. This is something that, yes, involves government, but crucially as well as the issue of climate change that we're coming out to talk about is something that affects all of us. It does need full community participation. It requires national effort, and it requires all of us as individuals having these conversations and educating ourselves and each other around how this impacts our daily lives and what we can do as well to protect ourselves and our community from it.
So not $1 from government?
We are hoping to have some more discussions as well with the government, and potentially as well to see them on this trip. At present, we are independently funded.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for clarity. So just so I said, so Noelle's there, Malachi's there. So also when you say 6 people, y'all are there.
Yes, indeed. So Noelle, Zane Sinclair, Malachi Simons, myself, Ollie Cherry, and Isaiah Frazier as well. The 6 of us are the youth delegates.
I'm so glad that you guys managed to make it, and not just to be present, but to bring back those networks and to do that work. I mean, I sing, the only person I know in your group personally is Malachi, and I cannot sing his praises enough. He is literally one of my favorite people. And to know that people, 5 other young people of his caliber and expertise are at that conference and are ready to come back home and further serve this country is a very exciting thing. I'm really, really excited as well that you guys are going to go for retroactive funding as well. So people do understand there is still, even though you've gone, there's still an opportunity to support you with those costs, right? But my next question, as much as I do want to continue to, and we will continue talking about it, the One Planet, One Right campaign, what is it? Tell us a bit about it.
Well, that's in fact, and it's topical, of course, with our conversation today and with the information you guys were sharing earlier. This month has truly been all focused around environment, and climate change is, of course, a massive, very important topic. Bermuda's Love's particular focus encompasses a whole variety of material rights. And crucially as well, what we want to be understood is that we are all part of the same planet. We are all part of nature. We are not exempt from it. What occurs in the planet and what occurs in the environment has a knock-on effect on us very deeply. And it's not just in the form of hurricanes or the danger of rising sea levels, but it's issues of our material cost. It's crop failures in the destinations where we get our staple foods from, impacting our price inflation here. It's energy costs and energy gouging by major companies as well that are impacting our cost of living here. So really this issue is something that touches every aspect of our lives. And the more we have these conversations and the more we communicate about this, which I'm very happy as well that we are, the better we can understand it and therefore work together collaboratively to address it. So One Planet, One Right is really about advocating for the right to a healthy, safe, sustainable environment. And really all of those things are something that we see all of us should have a fundamental right to. But those rights as well are things that we together need to provide for ourselves and each other. So we're happy as well to take the message forward, and as well, happy for all the attention that it's gotten this month.
I absolutely love that you identify the right to a healthy environment as a fundamental human right. And it's something that, and I mean, not to sort of go off on a tangent, and I won't, but Belco, for example, that's all I'm going to say, right? I mean, right, that's all I'm going to say about that. But, and also, it's something I find fascinating, right? So indigenous pre-industrialized societies, they understood this. They lived in harmony with, they understood if we jack up the environment, we're jacking up ourselves, right? And now here we are in 2023, all modern and educated, and we are forgetting that very basic, very necessary thing of we take care of ourselves by taking care of our environment, right? And it's very odd that now with all of our modern technology and modern knowledge, we have to return to this very basic knowledge, right? But so our next question, I think you've really answered this. Why is a campaign like this necessary?
Well, I mean, Rajay, I think you touched on it very, very eloquently just now as well. It really is getting back to what is truly important in our lives. And everything that is important to our lives, community, family, the way in which we are able to sustain ourselves and provide for each other is dependent upon a stable and functioning environment. And as you stated as well, it is only very recently in history that we have fallen out of a way of being in harmony with nature, and that this is truly mostly a post-colonialist and post-imperialist and post-capitalist phase and framing that we exist in. And as a result, these ways of doing business and these ways of building economies and existing and viewing the planet as not something focused on people, but focused on profit, these are the ways in which we have fallen away from our true natural selves. And it's something that we have to get back to, not just because it's the right and nice tree-hugging thing to do, but crucially because our survival as a species depends on it. And that is now becoming and coming into way clearer focus now with the wealth of literature and education we're now seeing on this, and the attention that it's getting as well, and the education that all of us are doing for ourselves on it is truly illustrating that. So it provides a great framing for how we need to look at our shared and collective future.
And I love those words, shared and collective.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's it. Because this, what did I say? I put the lie of neoliberal. Oh crap, liberal individualism. It's gone a bit too far, and it's like being an individual is like, no, you are inherently a part of a community and have a shared condition with people.
Yeah.
It's and we have definitely forgotten that. Please tell us some of the events that are coming up this month connected to the campaign.
Well, connected to the campaign, we had a whole bunch of community farming events and trash cleanups as well. A lot of those are, again, to encourage us to see that the problems that we face in our natural environment are shared, and that all of the trash that we go and put out into the community and out into the world really ends up in our backyards, and it really does have an impact on us. And that as well with the empowerment of things like community farming, that the solutions also come from us, and they come from those ways of looking at the land as a friend, and looking at each other as family, and saying that we should be focused on providing for ourselves. You spoke to the myth of neoliberal individualism, and it reminds me as well of something that you yourself brought up on your last interview with my colleague Aaron Critchlow of Bermuda's Love. And you were asking really, how can Bermuda's community values be translated into the present? And I think that's exactly it. That's perfectly the place for it. Bermuda's community values are the leadership values that this future needs and that the world needs. And it's crucial as well that Bermuda expresses itself and that Bermudians express themselves as leaders in this space, because we have a much, much, much broader role and place at this table than I think most of us in Bermuda know. And it truly is incumbent upon us to demonstrate that and to take care of each other in that way. So for all the work that you yourselves are doing in having these discussions focused on improving our community, that is the expression of love. And truly that is all of those items and those good things that Bermuda's Love is truly advocating for. All of this wraps up into a nice kind of broad puzzle of how we look at each other and how we take care of each other. So in terms of events as well, our next event and our next campaign in the next month is going to be around Zero Hunger. So we will be distributing a number of schedules and flyers around that too, and on really focusing the issue of hunger in Bermuda, of food insecurity, and what we can all do to work together to address that, and how we can live better for each other and with each other.
You kind of got ahead of me right there, because I wanted to ask you what's next, but more importantly, how can, because we you and I and Raj and we always mention this. This is a community effort, right? How can the community get more involved to help you achieve what it is you exist to do?
Well, I mean, Jamel, I think that the first answer in that is asking ourselves what it is that we want to achieve. And I believe it was Roger, I think it was you as well who brought up Maslow's hierarchy of needs in that interview with Aaron. And really what we need to do as well is understand that that bottom tier of that pyramid of love and security and self-actualization is built upon that basic material foundation of food, of clean water, of shelter, of housing, and all of these basic material things that unfortunately due to climate change are being threatened, and that we are not seeing as something as a right, but as something to maybe buy. And that commodification of our rights and our natural way of living on Earth is something that has to end in this century. So having these conversations, and the first thing I would say in terms of what we all can do is educate ourselves and then educate each other and keep talking about this and keep talking about it honestly and openly, and then searching for those solutions. Those solutions are systemic things like adjusting our food systems and adjusting our energy systems. They're also individual things. I mean, earlier as well, to begin the discussion, you talked about the idea of taking a plane to a climate conference and the natural issue of carbon emissions from that. And you're absolutely right to say that, yes, there does need to be some degree of accounting even in our net impact. But what I would also say about the issue of travel and with that is that instead of focusing truly on perfect solutions, which is what a lot of people fall into inaction with, that we should be focusing instead on a net benefit. If your carbon footprint from taking that flight out to the climate conference is X, but the net impact you have is like X plus 3, then you're canceling yourself out in a way. And really, we do need to be focusing on what we can do to give back to each other and to give more to each other as well. So recognizing that when we do take from the earth, as indigenous societies did, they would always leave more, and they would always try to give back to the earth too. So it does fall into that type of equation, and just being natural and honest with ourselves and our footprint on the earth.
Yeah, I absolutely love what Bermuda's love represents. I love that you don't seem reactive. I love that you seem consistent with your efforts to actually bring about the changes that you want to see. It's not something happens and then you respond to it, but you are really a proactive group of people who are trying to find solutions to problems that you came into. So thank you for being consistent and not just some fringe group that people are looking for attention or whatnot. And I mean that, and Rajay knows exactly what I mean. But I want to ask, the audience has a few questions, and Mark Arthur C. Phillips is asking, since the inception of Bermuda's Love, what has been the greatest challenge you faced?
Well, remarkably as well, I think that does come with consistency too. We do have a core group of dedicated volunteers too. We would very much like to see more people and more new faces too. We're always encouraged when we meet new people at the events, and more people are like, oh, I saw this advertised here, and I thought I would come along, and they come along to a community gardening group, or they come along to an upcycling event where we're repairing clothes for each other, or we're coming to help out and volunteer at some of the local homeless shelters and the transitional living centers. And it really is encouraging to see new people. But one of the challenges that we do face as well is a steady stream of volunteers and a dedicated focus as well on looking at the problems that we're addressing as not things that we just consistently mop the floor with, but things that we're really looking to plug the leak on. So in looking at education reform and housing and food and everything, it's great that we can respond with charity, but what we really ought to be doing is looking at systemic change and doing what we can to address the problems at the source.
We're going to move
everything we can.
We're going to move fast as we're heading out of time. So Elephant 999 asks, what is the overall outcome and goal to be gained by the 6 young people representing Bermuda at the COP28?
Well, Elephant, I first off like to thank you as well for focusing on the outcome as well. This is going to be primarily for the young people as well to be exposed, network, gain experience, gain ideas to bring back to Bermuda. And as well to look to developing ties with other folks, with other young activists, with other young entrepreneurs and business leaders around the world who are going to be helping out in the general project that we all share in that same general community sense. As a global community, these are the actions that we're undertaking to safeguard all of our futures. And so the more exposure that Bermuda has to these outside events, and the more that Bermuda can showcase its leadership there, the better we can have a faster track, rather, towards addressing those problems. So for the outcomes as well, more to come. And please reach out to us as well, because we'd love to talk about it more and to develop solutions with you guys more.
All right. Elephant 999 also says, yes, very true. The rule of leaving a place better than you found it. It's interesting because if you on my tweets and in my signature and my email, I literally have in there, when I depart this earth, it is my hope that I would have done, enough, would have achieved more than enough to improve the livelihoods of the society's most vulnerable citizens. And I think, that's why I embrace you all. Is I think you're doing the work where, you came into a space and you found problems, and you're not sitting back complaining them. You're embracing the challenge to fix them and find solutions. And I think the world would be a better place with more people of that ilk. One more, we got Elephant Triple.
You're having these conversations. You're again focused on community solutions, and this is what we need. All of us looking at each other as allies in solving our problems together. So thank you as well for everything that you do and continue to do.
You just said it, together. Like, we can't wait and expect you all to do all the work. We have to work with you to ensure that we're doing it together. Elephant 999 with another one. Is there a way to be a part of Bermuda is Love for a Bermudian who lives overseas?
Absolutely. I would say that again, because Bermuda is love and love is a universal value, there's always ways in which we can contribute to one another. One such way is to simply express your love through doing everything you can for Bermudians who are there, Bermudians who are outside, even encouraging Bermudians overseas to return and to use their skills productively to advance the prosperity of Bermuda back home. As well, there are because we are focused on collaboration and not just Bermuda's love as a cell, we would encourage as well in active engagement with those other groups as well that you guys have highlighted, with other folks who are in the spaces, who are addressing the problems, who are plugging the leaks. So really the best way to show your love is by being proactive with it and looking for ways to do it and seeing that is truly why we're on this earth, really just to improve each other's lives. And as you said, Jamel, to leave it a better place than you found it, and crucially, to take care of our most vulnerable, or the most vulnerable and most affected by issues like climate change.
Indeed. William, thank you so much. And I just want to say on behalf of everyone, thank you all for not letting the setbacks and obstacles stop you from getting over to that conference. All 6 of you, thank you for taking the risk and going to it with the outcome and a goal of coming back with information that can help improve our community and our society. So thank you for that. Thank you for the work that Bermuda is Love is doing. We try to have you guys monthly and have these conversations via Bermuda Youth Connect. This show exists because of things like this, because of the work that you're doing. So happy to meet you, happy to speak with you. And please don't be a stranger. If there's anything, keep us updated on the conference, and we'll be happy to share things as Maya did with Noel Young in our news break, just so that the public is aware. I want to say this publicly with him present. And Raj, I touched on this when we went off air, but I'm going to say this publicly. And I want everyone in the audience to understand and feel this. Media in Bermuda is very saturated. Any given morning, anyone can listen to a local radio station, read the newspaper, or a foreign podcast, or nothing at all. Where people get their information is so important to what they believe and understand. What I will say is guests like this, Bermuda is Love, conversations like these, I can guarantee you, are not happening on a regular or daily basis anywhere else. So if you believe that these conversations are here to make a positive difference and impact in your life, your family's life, and the community, do us a favor. Share the link and make sure every last person heard the words of what William said today. Let's change some minds, or not even change minds, but get people to think differently.
Let's tune in further as well to Daily Hour and as well to pay attention to our local Bermudians and everyone like me and Maya as well who are in this space. Because again, it is the people around us, and who we get our information from is very important.
It is.
And there's a lot to be said. There's a whole other conversation to be had around that. But thank you as well for using your voices.
how they can follow Bermuda is Love on social media real quickly.
Yes, of course. So Bermuda's BDA is Love on Instagram. There's Facebook, Twitter, TikTok as well. Reach out to us independently as well at bermudaislove@gmail.com, and we will add you to mailing lists as well. Again, it's about having a personal relationship. If you'd like to reach out to any of us individually as well, you can find us. But again, it's all of us as a community effort, all of us working together for each other. And thank you as well for all the help you've given us, Jamel and Roger. And again,
I told you,
for the support you.
One more question from the audience. How can we support you retroactively?
Well, thank you very much, Charles. We'd be very happy to. I believe Maya has already posted the fundraising link as well with our earlier press release. We will send updated copies as well with the 6 bios for all of the individual participants who are going as well, and some more information on how to support us as well. But thank you as well for your help and for advancing the cause and drive of young people to contribute to Bermuda.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Honestly, I enjoyed this convo. We'll be in touch. Please do enjoy and get as much as you can out of the conference. Talk soon.
Thank you so much, Jamal, and have a wonderful day. And you too, Roger. Thank you.
All right, folks. William Campbell over there in Dubai, represent Bermuda. Folks, if you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Please make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Maya has, she said there was an image. Is this it? Yes. This is an image. So William's going to send us more as well so that we have the image for all of them. But you can contact that email, young.noel@icloud.com, or call 799-4411 to help them if you would like to support their efforts. So thank you. Folks, we're going to take a final break. Come back. We're going to do the daily play and we'll wrap it up. And Roger, you better not get this daily play wrong.
Dang.
Yeah.
You gotta set the bar that high?
Yeah.
Dang.
Let's see if Roger's on his game today.
Hi, welcome to ER Fisheries. I'm Jalen Steed, store manager and trained chef, and I'm here to help you with all of your food needs. Let's talk about why you should come and check out ER Fisheries. We offer the widest range of specialty meats and seafood items at a price point that will absolutely fit your budget. As a chef, I'm able to answer all of your food questions, help you come up with meal ideas, and generally guide you in the right direction. You'll get a custom shopping experience unlike any other food store in Bermuda, where we'll cater to your needs and provide you with excellent customer service. Where else can you get quality cooking advice and quality products? I look forward to helping you with all your meal ideas.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can do this with you on a daily basis. Thanks again to Bermuda's Love and William Campbell for the conversation this morning. Again, people, folks, audience, friends, if you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. They are probably the most important conversations in our community, and they are happening here every morning on the Daily Hour. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Roger, are you ready?
We can hope so.
All right. The easiest question of the week.
Say that. Okay.
Roger Denbrook. At what New York City hotel does Kevin stay in Home Alone 2?
Shouldn't know that. No, the Waldorf Astoria was from Betty Coming to America. Oh, what? I don't know. I haven't watched that. It's the Ritz. Yeah, it's the Ritz. Those are the, see, we're getting 3 different answers. Which one was it?
Maya would be right if she didn't have the question mark. It's the Plaza Hotel.
Listen.
Not the Ritz, not the Waldorf Astoria, not Marriott, not Waldorf Astoria, the Plaza.
Okay. See, at least I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, it's the Plaza. Do you know who? I think Donald Trump used to own the Plaza Hotel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he made a cameo in the movie, I think.
Yeah, I think that's because, I think he owned it. Yeah, it's the Plaza Hotel. Is it even still open, though? Is the Plaza Hotel? I mean,
I don't know nothing about nothing.
I think it is. Yeah, I think the Plaza Hotel still 705 a night.
Yeah, we ain't getting there.
No wonder Kevin's parents were upset with him. He
You're
spent
right.
all that money
Yeah,
on his
he easily spent, let's see, a good 15K.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10, about 15. Yeah.
A good 15K. But do you see the house his dad stays in the movie and whatnot? And he flew his whole or everybody over to Paris. His parents got
What do Kevin's parents do for a living?
and that's actually the funny part. You never find out. So
They had a big house in Chicago. But anyway, Raj, let's wrap up today's show. Honestly, this discussion prior to William coming on, and then the conversation with William. I mean, they were one and the same. But let's wrap it up. Final thoughts.
Government leader, being a politician, being a government leader is not an easy thing, right? It's a challenge any day of the week. However, this culture has embedded itself at the moment of carry on as if everything is fine, and it's become very selfish. It's become very self-serving. I do think we have a lot of political leaders who are here to serve the people of this country, but things have gone away where the government is out of step with public sentiment. They clearly are, right? And we have government leaders going overseas to rub shoulders and what looks like to get an ego fix. Yes, you're there to network. Yes, you're there to advance Bermuda as an internationally relevant jurisdiction. I get that. But there are people in this country, and lots of people, most people, who are incredibly dissatisfied with this government right now. So this government really needs to think about, not just optically, but what is the purpose of you leaving the country where people are quite dissatisfied with you right now to rub shoulders internationally? They really need to actively consider that and not dismiss people's concerns and dismiss people's frustrations and spin them away, which has become the norm. And in terms of everything, I could not be happier. Bermuda is love. I couldn't be a bigger fan. I love their work, how they approach their work, everything that they're achieving is what Bermuda needs right now. It's what's going to move us forward as a people. It is the next step in how we need to it's the next step in how it is we're going to repair ourselves and continue to fortify ourselves as a people.
Yeah, I'll say this much. I think attending conferences is necessary, but like the audience has said today, it's about having the right people. I am happy that the 6 people made it over to Dubai and will be able to attend the conferences in some respect. But I would have welcomed the idea of the government taking them along, if anything, and allowing them to front it. I understand the importance of networking and leaders all over the place, but sometimes when you're trying to rise from the ashes, you have to dare to be different. And this was a perfect opportunity for the government. A government that, I mean, they're not dumb, they're not stupid. No matter how much politics they play, they know that they're not seen as in a good light by the majority of the general public. If not now, when will that change? As far as William and Bermuda's love, I think they're probably, if not the most genuine group of young people in Bermuda who are collectively doing something for the benefit of the community and society. Long may they exist. And I just hope that they're growing more young people along the way. And I'm not trying to disrespect any other group that exists. I absolutely love, I mean, this relationship is through Bermuda Youth Connect. I love that these groups exist. When I was younger, you had Stuart Hayward and Best, you had the unions, right? Those were the big ones to me. What they're doing right now via social media and through shows like this, and even the Royal Gazette with their piece in there, is they are finding ways to show Bermudians there's a better way. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had never heard of Shein. Someone mentioned it on the show. I purchased something from Shein. Aaron Critchlow came on. That stuff went in the trash. I ain't never purchased anything from Shein again. So I want them to know that they are making a difference. They are influential. And as long as this platform exists, they will be educating our Bermudian people to live better and be better. That's the only way we're going to have better. Raj, you have some daily inspiration for us?
I do. I'm going to share two, if that's okay. First one from Alanis Obamsawin, who is an indigenous filmmaker. When the last tree is cut, the last fish is caught, and the last river is polluted, when to breathe the air is sickening, you will realize too late that wealth is not in bank accounts and that you can't eat money. Second, from Miss Ruth H. Hopkins, the great, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, SWA, S-I-O-U-X, I always get it wrong, nation member.
Yep.
If we truly showed respect for the sacred, we would cease in its destruction and abuse. We would seek consent rather than taking what does not belong to us. We would not work to destroy that which we don't understand. Without the sacred, humanity perishes.
That's your daily inspiration, brought to you by ER Fisheries. William Campbell says, thank you very much, Jamal Rajay Maya, and the whole Daily Hour show. The work you do to highlight Bermudian stories and community is invaluable. Let's continue our conversations and good work. We appreciate you. Thank you for being so understanding, William. Thank you to everyone that's part of your group for what you do. It is appreciated. And on that note, folks, please, if you haven't already, just please fill out our survey. 2 days to go. Fill out our survey. It's on thedailyhour.com. And while you're on there, make sure you subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Office Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. He's Roger Denberg. I am Jamal Hartman. We are out.
Wait. I'm so sorry. Really quick. Oh my God. Congratulations to Teray, named 2024 Rhodes Scholar from Bermuda Youth Connect.
How could we? Teray!
PhD, sis!
Teray, congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
And also, congratulations and happy anniversary to my father and stepmom, 26 years. Happy anniversary to them as well. Teray, man, I'm going to send you a WhatsApp now. I am extremely proud of you. See, I didn't get that. I didn't know that. But thank you so much for sharing that, Auntie Karen. But again, happy anniversary to the parents. Folks, please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.